Shalom, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Islam to all the Moors. Okay. Let me just check, y'all, to see if we have a signal. One moment. All right. So as you can see, my YouTube channel shows that that I'm not live. Can someone put a 1 in the comment section if y'all can see me or hear me? Okay. As you can see, I'm showing that I'm not live on my YouTube channel. Let me go to the home page. So as y'all can see, nothing. So let me know. Put a 1 in the comment section if I'm live, y'all. I don't know if I'm live or not. It says I'm live, but I'm checking and I don't see anything. All right, I don't see that I'm live. Put a 1 in the comment section. Put a 1 in the comment section, okay, y'all? If you can, if I'm live, all right? Otherwise, I'm just going to have to be delayed because, hold on, I'm going to have to wait because as it stands, celestial ship of the north. Mic check, mic check. Mic check. This is crazy. All right, so I'm live. It had it as upcoming. I clicked on it. It doesn't have my thumbnail. What's the deal with this? It doesn't have my thumbnail. Hold on, y'all. Give me one moment. What is going on? Yeah, I always have trouble when I go live. This is just outrageous. Hold on, y'all. Y'all subscribe if you haven't subscribed to. If you haven't subscribed already. Man, this is totally crazy. So as y'all can see, I'm not showing that I'm live. All right. So y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like and share the video because obviously YouTube is not going to. Okay. And this is bigger than me. This information that I'm putting out is bigger than me. It's, of course, it's not my information, but it's bigger than me and it's bigger than you. This is about us as a people. Okay, us as a people coming out of the curses, the punishments, Deuteronomy 28, and taking back our birthright. Okay, the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers, along with all of our property, tangible and intangible. Okay. Anyway, let's begin on page 23 where we left off. Okay, so the topic was coming off of page 22. Deuces, right? Was the original fall of man. Okay, and where that story came from. All right. So as a matter of fact, let's just go back to the last paragraph on page 22. Okay. Radicals, long time no see. Peace back unto you, Shalawama. Y'all know the word, the ancient Ibriath word Shalawama. One of its meanings is peace. Okay. But it's a civics term. Y'all should look it up. I have it in my Dr. Yasapa Ancient Ibriath, Aramaic, and English lexicon. If y'all want to get it to support your knowledge, I got a link in the description area of this video. Okay, it's a root word lexicon. Lexicon is simply dictionary. It's a root word, which are the building blocks. Like amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So it's not every protein, it's the building blocks, it's the roots, okay? The roots for the ancient Iriath, or what the Jewish people would call biblical Hebrew, but it's not their um, pictographs, etc., etc. Anyway, let's get into this, y'all. We're going to talk about the original fall of man, page 22, and we're going to finish this chapter up today, all right? The two northern constellations of the bears, that would be the greater bear and the lesser bear. Today we call it the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, okay? Isn't it interesting how they changed the name of that? Okay, yo? They are called the primal pair. The primal pair meaning the original. Okay, meaning the most ancient, all right? So we have to remember that essence, the essence of everything is mentalism. The Hermetic law of mentalism. Okay? In religion, they would say what? God the Father. And then God the Father extracted the Holy Spirit out of himself to create the Son and everything else, right? Which is a remix of the Hermetic laws or principles, wherein mentalism extracted 6 other principles or laws from itself. You guys get it? So let's focus on gender, mental gender. That's one of the Hermetic laws, right? Gender is both positive and negative energy, or stated differently, masculine and feminine energy. Okay, or ano and kato. It is energy, not a fleshly man or woman. Let's get that clear. Okay? In its most feminine presentation, it functions, or its role is to form, to produce, to reproduce, to reform, or to transform. Concretely speaking, because our people had a concrete paradigm, so in its role of forming, producing, reproducing, transforming, reforming, whatever you want to call it, that is the function of a mother. In other words, the function of giving birth, right? So the first physical things that were births, so to speak, or the first physical things, how to put this, energies were transformed to produce or to form the Great Bear. Y'all got it? This was the first of the physical things to appear. Y'all got it? Simple as that. And then that story was remixed first into mythology, right? The father. Well, let's go back to Horus, Isis, and Osiris. And then that was remixed into the Trinity that we know of in Christianity and all of the other solar religions. Okay, y'all? All right? Clear? So I know I kind of got off track, but that's what's happening. So let's go back. So the two northern constellations of the bears, called the primal, I just explained that to you, the primal pair, became humanized. Now I mentioned yesterday, humanized, Han Uman, as opposed to man. Han Uman, Genesis chapter 1. The created creature, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27. The Yacubian animalistic experimentations that C.M. Bay talks about in his fine work, Clock of Destiny. Right? Also, the Nation of Islam talks about Yaqub. Okay? As opposed to Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Man, the man who was formed from the dust of the ground, and who Prophet Noble Darrell-El and your religious folk don't get all upset because you hear the word prophet. You need to know what that means. So read his literature before you run off talking about he's calling himself a prophet in the definition of prophet that you've been indoctrinated to associate with that word. That's not what he's talking about. But he tells us that man is thought made manifest from the soil. Thought is a function of the mind, mentalism. Does y'all see that? Everyone sees that? Whereas Han Uman was created by genetic experimentation, the product of the sperm of a chimpanzee, the black one, the most aggressive one, and the egg of a Moabite woman. So the Moors are Moabites, etc., etc. All right? Got human in a dictionary, you should not be surprised to find that human, by lawful definition, is a monster, and it cannot inherit land. Although born from a woman in wedlock, can't inherit land. You should also not be surprised as to why man, the autochthonous Moors, Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, who are thought made manifest from the soil. Well, wait a minute. Thought, again, is a function of the mind, mentalism, the most fundamental, the essence, the substance of all there is. See, there never was a time when man was not. And guess what? There was a time when there was no time. But man was. Okay? And man is, and man will always be. Y'all got it? There never was a time when man was not. Now listen, y'all. I'm not going to go off on a tangent too long. Remember how our ancestors created time. They put a boundary around what was boundless. In other words, space is the great seven. This is volume 1. So they drew a circle around that which is boundless. So from the celestial North Pole to the celestial South Pole, and then back up to the north, and then the Great Bear, which we call the Big Dipper, they said is what? The minute hand. And then Sirius, the dog star, in the South Celestial Pole is the hour hand. Hence, we created time, the clock of destiny. Y'all see it? The clock of destiny. The Great Bear having 7 stars. 7 stars. This is where we get 7, and this is where we get circle 7. All right? The 7 stars that make up the Great Bear, which were primal. And then that circle, y'all, that's the circle or the boundary that we drew around what was boundless. Now, I'm saying we because we are our ancient foremothers and forefathers, without a doubt or without a contradiction. That's who we is. Okay, y'all? Seriously. All right? Now take a look. Circle 7. Don't y'all see the hour hand and the minute hand? Okay, y'all? Everybody see that? So this would be what? 9 o'clock. Well, wait a minute. 9:30. Do y'all see it? We can turn it different ways. It's hard for me to see it because I'm in back of it. Okay, there's your clock. Clock of destiny, circle 7. Everybody see that? See the hour? One of the meanings is more. M-O-O-R. More. Common noun. All the Moors. In other words, all the men and women who are sprung from the soil, regardless of what family of nations, regardless of what tribe you come from. Everybody see that? None of that matters. This is why it should be no wonder to you that it is a well-established principle in law, that is a maxim of law, that land and law are inseparable. Land and law are inseparable. Therefore, land is the substance and subject matter of the law. Therefore, mores and law. I, self, law, am master. Mores and law are inseparable. Therefore, mores are the substance and subject matter of the law. And this is where, when the Moor speaks, he better be speaking law, right? Because what you speak, you manifest. All right, and you also contract, and you also testify. And now it's no wonder then that the Moor is the rightful heir to all land, all resources, including oil, water resources, oil, precious, semi-precious metals and stones, right? Jewels, the air, electromagnetic energy, anything that is of the earth or cosmic. We are the rightful heirs. Does everyone see how that works? Why? Because it's us. It's us. We are thought made manifest from the soil. Thought is a function of the mind. Mind, mentalism. This is the essence of everything that there is, which is what we're talking about on page 22. Clear? And so now we have two groups. We have the humans, the Han-Umans. Human is a condensed form. A condensed form means they deleted or removed some words from the original word, which is Han-Uman. Okay, so it's condensed or consolidated or constricted, all right? So we have that group of beings created in a laboratory through animalistic experimentation by Yaqub and his 12 feminine Moabite co-scientists. And they are non-descendable. They have no land. They have no right to inherit anything. They have nothing but whatever we give them. Y'all, does everyone see that? Okay, so these are the humans, the monsters, who are non-descendable. Now, keep that in mind as we continue reading. So here we go. The two northern constellations of the bears, called the primal pair, became humanized as the parents of our race. Humanized. I'm thinking I'm thinking he's talking about Han Uman. Okay? Humanized as the parents of our race. The Neanderthals, the troglodyte niggers, the Paleolithic cavemen, and were placed in the Garden of Eden, called the Mount, what mount, y'all? Mount Zion. And I like saying this, Zion Law School. Where's Mount Zion? It's the celestial North Pole. Listen, y'all. Listen to the remix that's happening here. In which stood, so in Mount Zion in Eden, right? They were placed in the Garden of Eden, called the Mount Zion. We've learned that on previous pages. In which stood the tree. This is the tree of the knowledge, right? Hold on. Han Uman is a deity in Hinduism. Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Han Uman is a deity in Hinduism. See, if you remove the A-N, see, Han Uman, H-A-N-U-M-A-N, this is a half monkey, half man. All right? Remove or delete the A-N after H and you get H-U-M-A-N, human. Okay? So that's where that's coming from. And this is the created creature that Yaqub created. Radicals writes, been busy, staying alive, C and Bay got it. Human, monster. So we need to be careful what we speak into the world. Absolutely. We are man. We are man. The planet was once called Asia. So therefore we are also what? Asiatic. Okay? We are not mankind. Mankind is a kind of man, the Han Uman, right? A knockoff, a symbolicum, a colored man, colorable man, right? Colored as in not complexion, but colored as in colorable law. Okay? As in fake, like a knockoff Gucci or a knockoff Coach purse, right? It looks like a Coach, it looks like a Gucci, but the materials and the craftsmanship is not there. Okay, y'all? All right. But it's not just Hinduism. What's 310? 310 is not just Hinduism. You can also check in South America. There's allegedly archaeological evidence of these camps that they found where they worship monkey gods. Okay, monkey gods. But you could also correlate this to the movie The Island of Dr. Monroe. All right, where he created all of these hybrids. I think there were two movies, two of them. Anyway, let's keep going. So here we are, y'all, in the Garden of Eden, which is Mount Zion, Zion Law School, in the North Celestial Pole region of space, in which stood the tree. Okay, the tree is the Great Mother, Typhon. Okay, the Celestial North Pole, that's the celestial ship of the North. Okay, which stood the great tree or pole. The next sentence reads, the fall was introduced when the earlier stars as timekeepers were found not to be keeping time correct. Who found them not to be keeping time correct? Well, the followers of Osiris, the Osirians. You'll get that on page 24. So I'm gonna, we're on page 23 now, so I'm gonna let it go. I covered this in the last two classes, okay? So the Osirians, the followers of Osiris, said, hey, wait a minute, you Moabites. This mindset y'all got in science, the natural laws of the universe, keeping time celestially, reading the stars, everything else that our culture was, the beauty, the loyalty, the manhood and the womanhood that we presented, and maintain the stability of our families and of our societies, the agricultural lifestyle that we lived. These Osirians said, no, we need to change that mindset. Okay, y'all not keeping time right. You don't know what time it is. Okay, Yakub is on the scene with his created creature, with the Han Uman, and we taking over. We're putting y'all out of business. Y'all understand what's happening here? So Radical's right. So our Hinduists then also lawfully considered Han Uman. No. No. Han Uman in religion would be Esau. Right? Would be Esau. Han Uman is everywhere. These are just hybrids, y'all. Just hybrids. These are the humans, the hybrids. And they come in all complexions. They come in all complexions. And my position is that the pharaohs were hybrids, based upon everything that I've been able to see. The way they're depicted in images, you know, giants or hybridized a man with something else. Okay, so hybrid. So watch the movie The Island of Dr. Monroe, or I don't remember exactly what it was, and y'all will see what I'm talking about. Look at the images of the pharaohs. A lot of them look, I don't want to offend anybody. Y'all just look at it. Okay? That's not, my intention is not to offend people. So I don't really want to talk about that. Y'all just go look, okay, and see what you see. You'll see men with animal parts, right? Animal parts of their body, so on and so forth. You also see it in scripture where they talk about this kind of thing. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going. By the way, CM Bay tells us that the scientific research took place in Mexico and the Yucatan, and the actual experimentation, the development took place in Argentina. Okay? In Argentina. And then we eventually kicked them out because, well, that's the story. Go to CM Bay, y'all can read about that, all right? Let's keep going. So the followers of Osiris. Now, who is Osiris, y'all? Let me show y'all. So here's Osiris. Okay. Now remember, this is not to be offensive. This is our pathway back to the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. Okay? So Osiris was the god of fertility, agriculture, the afterlife, the dead, resurrection, life, vegetation, in ancient Egyptian religion. So let's see if we can get some good images. I really want to move fast because I want to, before this place closes. Well, y'all do it, okay? I want to get through this because there's a lot more interesting stuff to go through. All right, so the fall of man, remember the fall of Adam? You have to correlate the fall of man, the fall of Adam, with the fall season when the sun, now this is coming from the solar zodiac projection, When the SUN sun reaches its highest elevation on June 22nd or thereabout, the name of the sun becomes the Christ. But we must remember, well, the Christ, the SUN sun takes on the title Christ. But the SUN sun is the SON sun, okay, linguistically. So now the sun begins to fall in elevation. It begins to fall toward the south until September 22nd. As I always mention, it crosses below Christ gets crucified. It crosses below the celestial equator on September 22nd or thereabout. Okay, y'all? So Christ gets crucified. The sun, this is the fall of man. What happens as the sun falls and we move into fall season? Well, the plants begin to ripen, fall off the tree, deteriorate, and then die. And then they're broken down, right? They're broken down into their most basic components, and then they're used as mineral, stored in the soil through the winter, and then when the ground begins to thaw, those minerals are available for the plants to then again provide nourishment so that the plants could begin to grow again. In other words, the life cycle that happens every year. Okay, everyone? So this is the fall in nature. The fall in religion is Adam and Eve eating of the fruit, and then they fall, right? Everyone see that? Okay. Now let's continue. So the fall was introduced when the earlier stars as timekeepers were found not to be keeping correct time. So the Great Bear, the Minute Hand, Sirius the Dog Star in the south, the Hour Hand, the followers of Osiris says, nope, you don't know what time it is, your time is off. Okay, now we're going to hit you with bills of attainder, bills of pain and suffering. We're going to take your birthright, corral you into urban areas, and sentence you and judge you and take everything you got by violence. And then we're going to destroy your reputation. Not only we're going to destroy your reputation, we're going to make it so that nobody ever knows what we did to you or knows anything about your culture or your history. We got to make the world forget you and not know you ever existed. And you're going to be searching. Well, of course, they didn't say you're going to be searching, but we as a people would be searching for who we are. And then would come a man like Noble Drew Ali and tell us to return to that mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. And when we stand up, in other words, when we get out of religion, see, we're in a dead state, civilly dead state, when we're in religion or even the solar zodiac projection. Because as CM Bay tells us, and he got his information from Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he says, when the suns are lying down, sleep, in a dead state, their head is in Aries. Aries is the Lamb of God. Aries is the Lamb of God. JC, Jesus, Yahushua is the Lamb of God. His mindset is in religion or in the solar zodiac projection, which is the template of all solar religions. Nobody denies that. And his feet are in Libra, the scales of justice. He's being judged. These would be the curses, Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68. Y'all see it? But when that more stands up, when the suns stand up, when Hiram Abiff resurrects himself from that shallow grave, his head becomes the celestial North Pole. What's the celestial North Pole, y'all? the primal beginnings of everything, mentalism. Now, the Moor's mindset is back in science, back in natural law, back in understanding, mastering the sciences, physical sciences, as well as the soft sciences. And his feet are the South Celestial Pole, which, according to Gerald Macy, the South Celestial Pole is principles. Okay, so those of us who know who we are, the Moor's feet are where? Standing on principles. The highest principles of the universe are 5: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Does everyone see that? But it was the Osirians, the followers of Osiris, who said, no. We ain't going to have that no more. Okay, we're going to destroy you mentally. Does everyone see what's happening here? Now let's continue. So, back to page 23, first paragraph. So, they were called laggards. They were called laggards because the followers of Osiris said, y'all ain't keeping time right. You don't know what time it is. What time is it? It's time for Yaqub and his set to take over. This is what they were saying. All right? Notice this, y'all. The imperfect creations preceded the perfect. Of course, this goes against the first law of thermodynamics, which says that systems go from high complexity to low complexity, not the opposite. See, that's unnatural. So evolution, if you know anything about the thermodynamics, you know evolution is BS. Okay? But they need it. And they don't want to let it go. They need it to say, or to convince you, to persuade you, to hypnotize you into believing that you are less than they, and they are much greater than you. But just the knowledge of science, just the knowledge of the first and second laws of thermodynamics will free you from that. Y'all heard? Things, systems, and we are a system, right? Systems go from perfection to imperfection, not imperfection to perfection. Evolution says they go from imperfect to perfect. Meaning to say that the youngest, or the newest rather, being, the hybrid to appear on the planet, is the most intelligent, is the most courageous, and therefore has a right to rule, has a right to take your birthright. Y'all see it? Now let's continue. He continues. The imperfect creations preceded the perfect. The clock of destiny, circle 7, is what he's saying is imperfect, and the autochthonous Moor. And the perfect, according to what they said, is what? The solar zodiac projection, which is only about 6,000 or so years old. And they brought it in through violence, the same way they brought in Christianity, through violence. And I'm wondering if all of this stuff happened at the same time. I'm wondering if this is the same story, just told differently. The earlier attempts at time reckoning, circle 7, clock of destiny. The earlier attempts at time reckoning by the stars had failed. Circle 7 had failed. Clock of destiny had failed. So they brought in this is an allegation, right? This is an alibi excuse. So they brought in the solar zodiac projection. Y'all see it? As a means to conquer you and to make you forget the mindset of your ancient foremothers and forefathers, which is the clock of destiny and circle 7. Okay? The Hermetic laws and everything else that we just talked about the celestial ship of the north ain't have nothing nan to do with no religion. Clear, y'all? Clear? Let's continue. The ancient traditions and allegories of the Egyptians and the Chaldeans, with their rootage in the far past, were continued by the Gnostics. So the Gnostics picked up and carried the knowledge base, culture, and traditions of the ancient Egyptians. They, that is the Gnostics, identified the early 7 stars of the Great Bear. Today, that's the Big Dipper. By name and nature. They identified them by name and nature as the 7 demons. Do y'all see that? They took what was beautiful, what never harmed anybody, but only did good. Not for 6,000 years, not for 12,000, but for an uncountable span of time. Nothing but good and beauty. And they took that and called them demons, which is a perversion of the Hermetic law of polarity. Okay, in other words, Moors, they are demonizing us. Because remember, mentalism extracted out of itself 6 other laws, one of which was gender, which was a gender, and in its role of forming and reforming, it is feminine, and it gives birth or reproduces, produces, etc., and it formed or transformed energy into what became the Great Bear, today known as the Big Dipper. And now they demonize that. And we are thought made manifest from the soil. So they demonized us because that is you. Moors, you understand that? And when I say Moors, I'm talking about autochthonous men and women sprung from the soil, not a religious group. Okay, Genesis chapter 2, men and women, the rightful heirs. Okay, of the entire planet. All right, so let's continue. So the Gnostics identified the early 7 stars of the Great Bear by name and nature, so they knew about them. All right, they identified them as the 7 demons who always, now get this, who always oppose and resist the human race. Now do y'all understand what I was talking about? Mankind, Han Uman, the troglodyte nigger, the humans who are non-descendable, who are in law monsters, who have nothing, versus man and the man with the womb, who has everything. Let me say it again. They identified the early 7 stars of the Great Bear by name and nature as the 7 demons who always opposed and resisted the human race. Always opposed and resisted the troglodyte niggers. Han Uman. Because as they claimed, the father of the 7, y'all see that? The 7 had no father. They had no father. Clear? They had no father. At this point, there was no masculine being created. Not created, but formed. The formation of soot, which is not a flesh and blood man or woman. Soot was an energy which was predominantly masculine. In religion, they called that the son of the mother. And the mother is said to be a widow because she had no husband. And nobody knows where she came from because she had no father. This is the mythology, the remix, okay? And out of that mythology came the religion. What? The Virgin Mary, right? Who gives birth to a son, and he has no fleshly father. Y'all got it? Y'all see that? Okay? But none of this stuff has anything to do with the mythology or the religion that was remixed off of it. This is all celestial. All celestial. Okay, y'all? Let's continue. All right, so the Gnostics claimed, because as they claim, the father of the 7 stars that make up the Big Dipper had been cast down to a lower world. See, they just made that up. This is the mythology. They just made it up, right? Plagiarized and made it up. Not meaning the earth. Okay, y'all, does everyone see what's happening? This happens all throughout. This was portrayed in the Bible as the fall of Adam, the mortal on earth, but its origin was purely astronomical. All right, I'm on page 23, y'all. Let me show y'all that so y'all can see it for yourself. All right. Pause the video on the replay so y'all can read it. All right. But you'd be better off downloading the PDF. Everyone see it? Thank you. Okay, y'all, let's continue. Now, this next paragraph is very irritating. Listen to this. Now, remember, this is 1927, y'all, when this was published. Do you see error in the next paragraph? Listen to this. Error and darkness had their beginning together. Error is sin. Error means something that's not perfect. Error and darkness had their beginning together. But remember, what is darkness? What is absolute darkness? Absolute darkness, I'm not going to go into this, okay, because I talked about it in the last 2 videos. But I don't want to leave it out of this one, so I'm just going to briefly mention it. We go to the footnote on page 14. Footnote number 2. The Egyptians symbolically named God, remember God is the modern day spelling of the Germanic deity Odin and Woden, who some people allege is Thoth. Who some people allege is Thoth. Thoth, from where we get the modern word thought. And thought is a function of the mind. Okay? But y'all Google search this Odin and Woden and look at the image that you get. Okay, y'all? Here we go. So, we had no concept of God. The author makes this clear. But what did the ancient Egyptians mean when they say God here? Here it is, quote unquote, ancient darkness. So what they're calling God, the ancient Egyptians called ancient darkness. Well, that should not surprise you, should it? That shouldn't surprise you. Footnote number 2. That should not surprise you because the celestial north is darkness, primal darkness, absolute darkness. Okay? In other words, that's the place where things begin and are formed. Okay? So that's one lake in the north. Primal beginnings. Mentalism. The 7 hermetic laws. All right? And then the formation of everything. In the south, celestial pole, these are principles. The highest of which are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Okay? So the ancient Egyptians said ancient darkness. And then the hybrids remixed that into God. Okay, y'all? Here's why it's significant. Of this darkness, H.P. Blavatsky writes, quote, unquote, darkness is the root of light. Now, the solar zodiac projection is all about light. Light, enlightenment, okay? Light, sunlight, and its function in making plants grow, sustaining life, right, y'all? And then when the light is not there, the darkness is there, things start dying. And when the light comes back, things start to grow again. And then when you get 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night at the equinoxes, 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night, equality, equalness, justice, right? Justice. This is where the abstract term justice and equity comes from. But look at this. See the remix. Of the darkness, H.P. Blavatsky writes, quote unquote, darkness is the root of light. Y'all got that? Light is matter. Light is matter. Darkness is pure spirit. So they even turned that concept on its head. How? Perversion of the law of polarity. I know some of you Moors and others may be offended by this, but I'm just presenting it, okay? I'm just presenting it. Don't get mad at me, okay? I'm just a messenger. Darkness is the root of light. Light is matter. We know that, right? Because light can appear as waves and as particles. Darkness is pure spirit. Darkness, metaphysically, is absolute light. Okay? So, in other words, light is not absolute light. Darkness is absolute light. How about that? How about that? So, darkness would be equivalent to, connotatively speaking, what they call God. Y'all see it? But yet in the solar zodiac projection, darkness is presented as evil. Evil. Y'all see it? Everybody see it? This is how darkness is presented. Darkness from the September, from the fall equinox. The number of dark hours begins to increase. According to the solar zodiac projection, this is where crime begins to happen. This is where death and deterioration and destruction happens. Robberies, okay, suffering because of the cold darkness. Okay, y'all? Do y'all see it? Okay, let's continue. He also says here, light is merely a mass of shadows. Light is merely a mass of shadows. Can you imagine that? As it can never be eternal. Light is not eternal. Darkness is eternal. And light is simply an illusion or Maya. Do y'all see that? Okay. Everybody sees that, right? So do you see how they flipped the script on us and made what is good and beautiful the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers? They turned it into something demonic and evil. Who did? The followers of Osiris. And it was passed on through all of these mythologies and religions that are associated with the solar zodiac projection. See, this is the more having his mind in Aries, which is the east gate, which is the vernal equinox, which is the kingdom of God, where the sun reaches its, the sun starts to elevate until it reaches his highest elevation at the summer solstice on June 22nd, thereabout. But the celestial North Star is a whole lot higher in elevation than the sun would ever reach. Okay, y'all? And that northern celestial pole region, this is where there is what? The triple blackness, triple darkness of space. Where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is said to be in a spaceship, celestial ship of the north. Y'all got it? All right, let's continue. Quote unquote, let me just start back where we were. Second paragraph, page 23. Error and darkness had their beginning together. It is said in the Apocrypha, quote, their beginning was with sinners. So the beginning was with sinners. They're calling us sinners. Because why? We're the autochthonous Moors. We're the ancient ones. We're the primal ones. Y'all got it? Also, celestially. Calling us sinners. All right? I hope everyone sees this. The Apocrypha says their beginning, talking about the seven stars, the Great Bear, the Big Dipper. Their beginning was with sinners. The true doctrine of the fall belongs to the hidden wisdom, known only to teachers who have kept its meaning unsullied. In other words, it was kept secret. And isn't this what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali told us? They knew about it in the East, but they hid it from us in the West. Until Noble Drew Ali brought it back to us. Okay, y'all? Everybody knows that. He talks about it openly. Now let's continue. And the books of the hidden wisdom tell us that, quote unquote, to be allied to wisdom is immortality by means of her, quote unquote, by means of her wisdom. And who is wisdom? Hathor, the great mother, the celestial ship of the north. I shall obtain immortality and leave behind me an everlasting memorial to them that come after me. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 17. In the divine Pymander, it is said, quote unquote, this is the mystery that to this day is hidden and kept secret, for nature being mingled with men. For nature being mingled with man brought forth a wonder. Nature being mingled with men brought forth a wonder, most wonderful. For man having the nature of the harmony of the seven. Y'all got that? Man, not mankind, not Han Uman, not the human, man. For man having the nature of the harmony, peace, y'all. harmonic with nature, having the harmony of the seven stars of the Great Bear, the first formation of physical things brought about through Hathor, the Great Mother, which is the Hermetic law of gender, which is predominantly feminine. Okay? From him whom I told thee, the fire and the spirit, nature continued not, but forthwith brought forth 7 men, all males and females, all masculine and all feminine, y'all, and sublime. See, and sublime. Or on high. See, if you're on high, in the biblical Hebrew, they would say you are what? The Elohim. In the modern English, they would call you the gods. The ancient Egyptians might call you ancient darkness. According to the nature of the 7 governors. According to the nature of the 7 governors, the 7 bays. B-E-Y-S, the 7 bays. And these were the 7 that finally became planetary. So the 7 stars that make up the Great Bear, today the Big Dipper, became what, y'all? Planetary. But primarily were the 7 stars of the constellation of the Great Bear. Today, the Big Dipper. Y'all see that? Now, I just want to look up a word here. Nature, for nature being mingled with man. Ah, okay, all right. What time do you close? How many more minutes? How much? If y'all want to buy me a coffee, feel free to do so. Thank you. You can send support on zionlawschool.org or my Patreon. Actually, y'all, it's expensive for me to do this because I travel by taxi and da-da-da-da-da. But anyway, if y'all support, it makes it more pleasurable for me to do it. But you don't have to, of course. I'm going to do this with support or without support. So let's look up mingled. See, nature is mingled with man. So let's get a precise meaning. I would like for y'all to come to my Saturday class. Ah, here we are. Cambridge Dictionary. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Cambridge Dictionary. Mingle. So mingled. So mingled, past simple and past participle of mingle. All right. So let's get past that. Hold on. Let me delete this advertisement. So mingled, to mix or combine or be mixed or combined. See, we are nature. Okay? If you can just understand that you are nature. So when you study this, you are studying yourself. This is why the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, I'm paraphrasing, after you study everything, if you want to know what you should study more or study next, study yourself. Let me show you. Mingled. Does everyone see that? Okay. I don't know if y'all see. I see a reflection. Hold on. this is kind of difficult to do this. Does everyone see mingled, to mix, or combine, or be mixed or combined? Mavio writes, first time viewer and subscriber. Welcome, Mavio. Where are you from? Let's see what else we can find. Blend. Oh, saturated solution. I like that one. Trinidad. All right. Trinidad. Welcome, Mavio. Welcome from Trinidad. Good to see you. Okay, y'all. So let me show you this so you can know who you are. Now, do y'all understand, or do you have more insight into manifesting? Because you are nature. All you need to do is go into the workshop of your mind, okay, in a relaxed state. Not sleep, relaxed. Okay, y'all read that. All right, man is nature. They know this. They know that we are nature. So let me ask you, if we are nature, doesn't that mean we should be able to control nature through our mind? Okay? Or what if it means through mass consciousness we can control nature, weather events, through all we need to do is return to the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. Y'all hear me? Okay, Mavio writes, love in the house. All right. Excellent. One of my favorite boxers is Felix Trinidad. But I think he's from Puerto Rico. But I know Trinidad very well. I know Trinidad very well. All right, y'all. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. For nature being mingled with man and nature are the same. They're combined, okay? For nature being mingled with man brought forth a wonder most wonderful. For man having the nature of the harmony of the seven. Do y'all understand that? Remember, the seven are what? The self-creating. Isn't that manifesting? The self-creating. The self-creating, or self-forming rather. They don't have a father, etc., etc., etc. I think next class I'm going to go into this in more detail, okay? So man having the nature of the harmony of the seven, of the great bear, from him whom I told thee, etc., etc., etc. Let's skip down to the next paragraph, all right? The Egyptian books, the Hindu Puranas, the Chaldean, and the Osirian scriptures all speak of seven primitive men or atoms. The Jews, now, okay, y'all, Jew is religion. The Jews got their Adam from Chaldea. Ad, A-D, so Adam, A-D-A-M. So they got their Adam from Chaldea. So let's deal with the spelling of Adam, A-D-A-M. The first two letters, A-D, in Sanskrit means or is the first. So A-D in Sanskrit means the first. Do y'all know what Semite means in Sanskrit? I did a video on it. It means grotesque. So 3 writes, so Noble Drew Ali blended Christianity and Islam. No. Noble Drew Ali doesn't deal with religion. It's not religion at all. We'll get into that. Noble Drew Ali deals with natural law, which is civics also. All right. Also astrology, astrotheology. So Noble Drew Ali is doing what I'm doing. Somebody might listen to me and say I'm pushing religion, but I'm not. Okay? So if you understand what I'm talking about and you read Noble Drew Ali's literature, you'll see what he did. Okay? All right, let's continue. In fact, had it not been for his works, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now because I know what I know because of what I learned from him. Okay, y'all? Anyway, let's continue. So the Osirian father is AK hyphen AD or father creator. Now we know there is no creator, so here is another remix, right? Energy can never be created or destroyed. It only can transform. Hence, the Great Mother is the former, the producer, the reformer, the transformer, the reproducer. Energy can never be created or destroyed. Consciousness is energy. Awareness, imagination, this is energy. So, y'all see the religious, let me make a word up here. The religification, okay? So, and here we are, the mythologies. Now they're talking about a creator. Remember, they want to take us out of the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers and then put our mindset into Aries, the Lamb of God, a colorable zodiac system, and religion, a colorable form of law. Y'all see it? Knockoff. Okay, y'all? So let's continue. It says here, and AD hyphen AD meant, quote unquote, only one. Adam stands really for the first primitive race. Adam stands for the first primitive race. Who's the first people? The Asiatics. All right, the Moors. Okay, those of us who are sprung from the soil. Radicals writes, C. Felix Trinidad de Barranquilla, Puerto Rico. He is very systematic fighter. Absolutely. Utilizing science in his methodology. I like your mental tangents, brother. I don't know if that's for me or for our brother from Trinidad, Mavio. Sorry, y'all. I can do one thing at a time. I can't do two things at a time. Huh?
We will go in 5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes. Okay, thanks. So they close in 5 minutes. So let me see. Let's try to make it do what it do, y'all. In the Gnostic idea of the creation man was formed by a quote unquote a certain company of angels as a mere wriggling worm. The worm becomes winged, a living spirit. Their Adam was Adam the Red, or the Sun. Y'all got that? This is the Gnostic. Their Adam was the S-U-N, Sun. In Genesis, we are told, quote unquote, male and female created he them. That's Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27, y'all. That's the Han Uman. The Mohammedan tradition, now these are Moors, okay, y'all, affirms that the body of Adam was at first a figure of clay that was 40 years in drying. And then the creator Okay, so there is no creator, right, y'all? We're talking about hermetic laws, not a sky daddy. Okay? Endowed it with breath. So the quote, so this is the Quran, chapter LV. Many are the traditions of a first Adam, or that which his name symbolized. Now, y'all, listen to this. This is the most important paragraph here. Listen to this. The biblical account of the war in heaven is explained astronomically. When Typhoon and Sut, or listen, or the northern constellation of the Bear and the glowing dog star in the south prove false. That's circle 7. That's the clock of destiny. When it proved false in their time reckoning, in their timekeeping, causing their own degradation, their own downfall. This was also brought about by the change in Earth's axis. So what are they saying? I showed this in about 2 videos ago. They're saying that Earth's axis changed, and therefore, it threw the time off. But guess what? Earth's axis is nothing but a line drawn from the celestial North Pole straight through the Earth to the celestial South Pole. Y'all see it? All right. This was also brought about. See, it says also. So this would be a second reason. This was also brought about by the change in Earth's axis, which had gradually pointed to a star other than the one around which it had been revolving. Okay, let me ask y'all. How many times could this have happened? Was this the first time that it happened? Or did it happen many times, if it happened at all? If it happened many times, then how can you say the timekeeping was off? Provide the evidence that it happened in the first place. What other star did it point to? Okay, but as I said, I showed on the other video that Earth's axis is a line from the North Pole to the South Pole. Of course, they say, hold on, 13 was that the sun, Saturn. Yeah, we're going to get there about the planets and all of that. Yeah, we're going to get there. But right now, we're talking about the sun in our solar system. Well, the sun, we're going to get there. I'll explain. I want to try to get through this so I don't have to do it on the next video, okay? I got like less than 5 minutes, but we'll get to it, okay? We'll get to it. All right, y'all. Here it is. Here it is. It was, listen to this, y'all. This was also brought about by the change in Earth's axis, which had gradually pointed to a new star other than the one around which it had been revolving. Earth's axis revolving around Polaris, okay? It was the Egyptian Osirians who cast out and condemned the ancient Typhoon. Y'all see that? So, what's more likely? The stars somehow changed in a way that they never changed before over hundreds of thousands, millions, if not billions of years? Or the Osirians came in through warfare and violence, as it says here, they cast them out. In the last video or 2 I did, I looked up cast out and I looked up condemned. It was through violence, through warfare, through public policy, and through the judicial system. Just look up those words. That they destroyed the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. They destroyed us. Okay, and put them into a religious mindset. Okay, y'all? It was the followers of the Egyptian Osirians. Okay? And listen to this, y'all. It was the Egyptian Osirians who cast out and condemned the ancient typhoon. And that's clock of destiny, circle 7. And who changed the star god into Sevek Ra, the sun sun. Y'all got that? In other words, shifted us from circle 7, the clock of destiny, and put us into the solar zodiac system, where now time is being told by the position of the sun sun, no longer by the stars in the celestial north and south pole. Okay, does everyone see that? Now let's continue. So it was the Osirians who changed the star god into Sevek Ra, the sun god. They then placed upon his head a pair of horns, and he became the ram or lamb symbolized in the zodiac sign Aries. Y'all got that? This is why CM Bay said that. Okay.
You have rubber.
Do I have a grab?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna order now.
You know order.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna order now.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
5 minutes, then we close.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay. So y'all got that? So this is why CM Bay said that when the Moor has his head in Aries, he's dead. He's in a dead state. Do y'all see that? Okay? Do y'all see that? And he became the ram or lamb symbolized in the zodiac sign Aries. And when the sun sun passed into Aries, Aries became typical of the change from one pole star to another. Mavio says, today I will view your channel. You got some great classes. Thanks for today. Absolutely, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure and honor. Does everyone see that? Why CM Bay said that now? It's very clear now, right? It's very clear now. When Moors are lying down in a dead state, their head is in Aries. And when you are out of harmony with nature, in other words, when you are not being yourself, because you are nature, when you are not being yourself, you get the curses. Your feet are in Libra, the scales of justice, okay? Now, let's continue. All right? So he says here, and when the sun sun passed into Aries, Aries became typical of the change of one pole star to another. This casting out of the old mother, this casting out of circle 7 of the clock of destiny took place when, catch this, y'all, when theology turned many, that's when religion turned many of these ancient myths into religious history. Religious chaos resulted, and the past was almost lost in obscurity, but strange to relate, followers of ancient typhoon cult of the first immaculate conception as spread over the world today, though many of whom are in ignorance of the foundation of their religious beliefs. See, y'all? Y'all see that? It is well never to lose sight of the fact that in the heavenly world, all is pure and beautiful in its symbolism. Nothing is material. For all exists through capital G-O-D, God, whose rays are the light. So, talking about God, the sun sun, okay, y'all? We're not the audience. His audience is the Han Uman. The author's audience is Han Uman, okay? For all exists through God, whose rays are the light now piercing through the veil of his creations. There are many who do not realize the beauty to be found in the old world symbols, which have been so cleverly falsified and misaligned. Okay, y'all. Make sure you look at page 27. Is this 27? Page 24. All right. This is where you get the information about the Osirians and what they did to us. All right. Okay. So this is equivalent to what the Hebrew Israelites would say the Christians did. They would say the Christians didn't want us to know. They prevented us from knowing that we are the true Hebrews or Jews, right? This is the equivalent of that. Okay? This is the equivalent of that. And it suspiciously seems like it's the same story told differently. But I have to run, y'all, because the place is closed. And you have to forgive me. Islam to all the Moors. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom, y'all.